In today's news, in a shocking update, we have recently witnessed as much as $23 million worth of XRP trading volume in just 60 seconds. 60 seconds, 1 minute, that is all. Which is absolutely insane. The sheer size of capital we are witnessing with XRP right here and now. It is beyond impressive. And this is a result of the institutional demand for XRP, which is growing rapidly because of XRP and Ripple's real world use cases. The challenge of sending money internationally has been solved through using XRP within Ripple's network. Financial institutions can now convert currencies quicker and cheaper than ever before, which is having a drastic impact on foreign exchange and remittances, as banks and payment providers start adopting Ripple technologies and migrating from fiat to use XRP. It is quite evident that demand for XRP is off the charts right now, which is exactly what two Ethereum CEOs stated recently on Bloomberg, telling the masses, the whole world effectively, that XRP is the future and the best cryptocurrency in the world because it has the best utility and proven use cases. Very big news, take a very close listen.
So a leveraged 2 times long XRP ETF, you launched it at a good time because we're seeing this bounce back in the cryptocurrency itself. But who is this for? Who is coming into this ETF in its first 9 or so trading days?
Well, I think the XRP community, they really are a bit of a cult. They are dedicated people, and rightfully so. There are a lot of XRP wallets, I think more than 6 million out there. So we know there's pent-up demand to tap into XRP in a more traditional Wall Street wrapper. Now, it's not so traditional that you go with leverage, that's the point. But this specific product is geared towards traders who have a short-term view, primarily 1 day view of what XRP's price moves might be. This allows them in a traditional brokerage account to achieve leverage without a margin account. We believe in XRP. We're not making a price prediction, but we do believe it's a coin that will have the most utility out there. Bitcoin is a store of value. I agree with Mike McGlone, but I think that XRP has a true use case. There's just no doubt about it. And the Ripple team, from the interaction we've had with them, they're really professional. They act like investment bankers over there. They know what they're doing, and they will make this work. And we will see a different Wall Street. We will see traditional finance be merged slowly with DeFi, DeFi, yes. And then we will see DeFi take over. It'll take longer than people think. I'm convinced of it, but it will be so much more efficient. And, 3 to 5 second settlement, which is what Ripple can do. That's amazing.
I want to dig in specifically on the use case that you mentioned, because a lot of folks watching probably would have the reaction. The only use case for Ripple and some of these other tokens out there is speculation. So what is the actual use case of XRP?
Okay, so XRP, that's absolutely not the case. You can speculate in it because it's out there and trading. But XRP, they started Ripple, and I'm not going to speak for them, okay? But they started Ripple to facilitate transactions, moving money around, okay? But now it's literally helping tokenize everything. As they develop their level 2 build out, they are really going to tokenize everything. They've just bought a broker-dealer clearing member, as you may know, and I think that's the first step toward integrating traditional finance with DeFi. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a breakthrough. It is a breakthrough, but it'll happen slower than people think.
Okay, so the 2x levered ETF with exposure to XRP. What's in the pipeline? What's next?
We have filed for an inverse. We'll see what investor demand is, but we'll see. I mean, we were the first to get a 33 Act Bitcoin fund approved, as you may know, and Grayscale won their lawsuit on the back of that approval. Then the new SEC came in, which is now the old SEC, thankfully, and they prevented everything. So we'll see. We only put things out on what we believe in. We believed in Bitcoin, store of value. We believe in XRP. It is a use case that is already proven. It just has to expand now.
This is arguably the biggest moment in XRP's history. Arguably. And this is still just the beginning. More adoptions coming through, and as confirmed in this interview, it seems that even Bitcoin is decoupling, or it already has decoupled from the Nasdaq, which is very big news, therefore resembling price movements more similar to gold. Again, listen very closely.
Welcome back. Not a lot of green on the screen today, as you know. However, You probably didn't look at Bitcoin. Janae McKeel did, and she's here. It's up 3%. What do you make of the way that this has been trading? It's decoupled, obviously, from the NASDAQ, which was a trend for a while. How do you see it?
Something that people were looking for all month, because if you go back to earlier this month, it really was trading in line with stocks. It just was not seeing the big, pops and drops that one, we're used to seeing out of Bitcoin, and two, it is outperforming the S&P. It has not really caught up with gold, the leading safe haven, but I think you are seeing evidence, not just, I think that the obvious and easy narrative would be that we're talking about Fed independence today, so Bitcoin is kind of acting as that hedge against political uncertainty. But I also think that it's not just enthusiasm, it's also exhaustion. You're seeing people, investors wanting to get back into risk, but just maybe not the type of risk that's tied to earnings or Fed policy.
You got a quick thought?
I do. Look, you've got a president who's very interested, and his family's very interested in Bitcoin doing well, and crypto doing well. And I think you're close to regulation or some positive announcements on policy, and that's what's driving it.
It's evidence, Bitcoin's supportive nature is evidence that we have not had a deleveraging event. Because you have a deleveraging event, everything's going down.
Well, it has underperformed the S&P and NASDAQ overall since the peak. Recently, though, to your point, it is trading pretty well, up from 82 just a week and a half or 2 weeks ago.
Real quick, last thought?
I think one of the hardest things for investors is to wrap their heads around the fact that day to day it does trade like a risk asset, but medium long term it trades like a safe haven. If you look at gold's outperformance, that kind of can act as an indicator of where Bitcoin heads when the dust kind of settles.
Now, why is that important, especially for XRP, you ask? Well, this is a key indicator that we are going to see Bitcoin following the gold standard more closely as a hedge against inflation, a deflationary asset, and therefore it will continue to rally up higher and higher from here, potentially much more volatile in the immediate short term as well. Financial institutions and smart money, they have realized this, which is why they want to continue to migrate from TradFi to DeFi. We're seeing the stock market more often than not seeing trillions of dollars of outflows and crypto still going up in value. Bitcoin right now is above 90k as of today, and it's going to go up continuously from here. They're allocating more capital, their institutional capital is coming more and more into crypto. The start of the great wealth transfer is officially here. And for more information on what I am personally doing in a particular bond, you can follow me here in the VIP group at what.com/coin-factory, keeping you all informed on what my moves and targets are, building realistic market expectations through alpha institutional research documents, educational videos as well, while also actively trading in this market. We have a limited time offer, a 7-day free trial period. So again, if you're interested, what.com/coin-factory, you can find the links down below in the description. Now, Bitcoin is, in my belief, destined to go higher. Not financial advice, of course. However, as we all know, Bitcoin, it is not scalable. And that is where XRP will take its place, solving the challenges of sending money internationally. And like smart money have realized this with Bitcoin going up, they've also realized that XRP is the future, which is why we're seeing more financial institutions partnering with Ripple with the aim to supercharge XRP's utility and accelerate its adoption. As this documentation showcases here, Ripple's intellectual protocol is like universal plumbing for finance, allowing money to flow smoothly between various networks. Just as the internet connects computers, Ripple and XRP is the internet of value. And this $23 million worth of trading volume in just 60 seconds, it is nothing compared to what we will see in the next few months, the end of the cycle, or in the next years to come. It's going to be so much higher. And Ripple's acquisition of Hidden Road will be a massive help supercharging XRP's utility following the regulatory approval in the coming months. This once in a lifetime deal has resulted in Ripple leveling up into a full-scale institutional finance player. As Hidden Road, as it states down here in this document, they plan to migrate its post-trade clearing onto the XRP ledger. This showcases Ripple's blockchain's ability to handle high-volume institutional flows. Again, that 23 million volume is just the beginning. And in the words of the market commentator, the deal could bring the largest institutional capital and crypto markets together. A perfect blend between TradFi and DeFi, potentially accelerating adoption of XRP if Ripple successfully integrates the technology into Hidden Road's workflows. But that is not all, as better still, as documented right here, with ownership of Hidden Road, Ripple's ownership of Hidden Road, Ripple can push a broader adoption of RLUSD stablecoin and XRP for settlements, potentially making XRP part of the plumbing in traditional markets, coming back full circle again to prove that XRP and Ripple's interledger protocol is like the universal plumbing for finance. And it's also very, very funny how many times this terminology is being used in institutional research papers like from Goldman Sachs right here. Plumbing of payments used time and time again. The 2Cream CEO stated that Ripple's team are true experts and act like investment bankers, and with Ripple's regulatory clarity they've gained from their legal victories against the SEC and their partnerships and the CFTC trading them now, the investor confidence of XRP is going to grow exponentially from here. RLUSD and XRP volume, demand, and in the case of XRP specifically, the price is going to grow exponentially from here, following the incoming regulatory frameworks. According to his research paper here, the final stablecoin bill is expected to pass both chambers, House and Senate anytime soon, sometime within the next quarter. No, this quarter, Q2 or Q3. So very, very soon, the turning point, the flip of the switch is right around the corner. And this is even more prevalent here with Paul Atkins, who has now officially been sworn into office and is now the SEC chairman, and he may accelerate this process further. In fact, Paul Atkins is set to speak on Friday's SEC roundtable on crypto trading, which will be his first public remarks on digital assets since becoming SEC chair. In my belief, not financial advice, because again, anything can happen, but in my belief, Paul Atkins is going to drop some bombshells on Friday. I can just sense it. And he will also soon pass the massive backlog of ETF filings, and they will start, and Paul Atkins will start with XRP, no doubt. And in some more bullish news in that regard, Crypto.com, one of America's bigger exchanges as well, has recently announced an exclusive partnership with Trump's social media platform Truth Social for 3 ETFs: Bitcoin, Bitcoin/Ethereum, and the first of its kind Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Crow, and XRP basket. So the 4 biggest assets in crypto and Crypto.com's native asset Crow. Trump is once more showcasing his support and backing of crypto, but in particular again of XRP. And why wouldn't he, when Ripple and XRP, they are literally creating the universal plumbing of finance, the internet of value. As a takeaway for you, crypto, it no longer is being talked about as a Ponzi scheme. It's not a Ponzi scheme, it's a financial revolution, the savior of our financial system. That's the fact of the matter here. And these algorithms, these protocols being created right now, they are the future. We are all a part of this great wealth transfer. Take a listen to this interview here, proving such.
So there's a couple of coins that I really enjoy right now. XRP is really important. Cardano and ADA is another one that's very important. I don't think a lot of people really even know about. Solana is a very important coin with the NFTs, lower cost ways of transacting and doing things. But ultimately, the world is moving towards real world tokenized assets. Mm-hmm. And so whether we're talking gold, silver, real estate, mortgages, this is where everything's moving right now. And so if we look at this more as the algorithms of the future, as opposed to trying to look at this as, is this the next form of money, then I think that we're going to have a better understanding where we are.
We are early, we are blessed, but we need to remain vigilant and keep doing our own research, because not all cryptocurrencies will make it. Most will die, most will be cannibalized. The true value comes from the cryptocurrencies use cases, the utility, the protocol behind them. And that is what sets XRP and Ripple above the rest, as it's already being used as the internet of value. Come chill chat and learn more in the VIP group, and as always remember, don't look short term, think long term, and I'll see you in the next one.